A severe thunderstorm watch issued for the South Plains. How these storms affect your plans coming up.
Plus, the cleanup from last night's severe weather continues across the South Plains today as residents brace themselves for another round of storms.
Gonna hit that cop car.
Oh my God.
One man is dead after an early morning shooting rampage in front of the Dallas Police headquarters.
Now, the South Plains First News in high definition. This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shaley Sanders. The majority of the South Plains is under a severe thunderstorm watch this evening. Cutter Martin is in for Carrie. Can you tell us how long these storms are going to last?
Yeah, basically they're brief, so that's the good news. We see where they are now, eastern New Mexico. We know where they're tracking, and they're really not going to last that long, but timing-wise, they're going to affect some evening plans. Looking at what's going on right now, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in green until 10 o'clock this evening, so it's not a severe thunderstorm watch that drags on into the early hours of the morning, so it will expire here pretty quickly, at least by 10 o'clock. As far as what's going on right now, we're tracking showers and thunderstorms across the northern rolling plains and then also across eastern New Mexico. So basically two areas we're watching right now. Recently, a severe thunderstorm warning was issued for portions of Floyd County. That thunderstorm is capable of producing some large hail and gusty winds. So focusing in on that, it's basically stationary. So localized flooding also a threat with this heavy downpour northeast of Florida, South Plains in the path of that thunderstorm. More showers and thunderstorms developing across the central South Plains. This is the big guy here, though. A developing line, a squall line of thunderstorms will march to the east into the central South Plains. The bulk of this is now less than 100 miles away from Lubbock. It's traveling to the east about 40, occasionally 50 miles per hour. So it'll be here in the city of Lubbock within 2 hours. Conditions here may actually go downhill here pretty quickly. Checking the forecast hour by hour, peaking those rain chances 7 to 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to taper them down. So if you have late evening plans, midnight, 1 a.m., actually may be okay in Lubbock. Storms on the rolling plains by then, but when they do hit us, they may hit us pretty hard. We're tracking several severe weather threats. Hail in the slight category, wind that's gusts to 60, 70 miles per hour, moderate risk of that. Tornado threat, while there, is low today, but then when you talk about flooding and when you talk about lightning, we're talking about a moderate threat and a high threat. So Shaley, an active evening ahead, an evening that we're tracking here. I'll be back with your complete first alert forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Cutter. And you can keep track of the rain that is expected throughout the weekend. Just download the KCBD weather app. It is easy to use even when you're on the go. Just search KCBD in your app store. Well, several of you shared your weather pictures with us on Facebook. Here's a great picture of the calm after the storm. Check out this rainbow captured by our viewer, Tom Mann. And Danielle Wittenberg shared this picture of what she says is a 40-year-old tree knocked down by strong winds in Hale Center. And then take a look at this photo taken by Jenny Rodriguez. She took this off of 1585 and I-27. She says this flew off of a trailer and into another before hitting a transformer. Now, we went back to that location today to get a better look at the damage caused by those strong winds. You can see from this photo that there is substantial damage. In fact, the home is a complete loss. KCBD News Channel 11's Patricia Villasine spoke with the man who lives there. He actually told her that he was there when those violent storms hit. Isn't that right, Patricia?
That's right, Shaley. In fact, John Ballou says he was keeping up with our weather coverage last night when wind gusts suddenly got stronger, causing the front wall of his trailer to cave in and the back wall to blow out. He tells us that the trailer's rafters came down shortly after and fell right onto his head.
I've been here 24 years, and the trailer has stood 70 mile an hour wind before. I've thought about it, maybe someday would happen, but I couldn't really comprehend. This is it. It's happening now.
Despite sustaining the impact from the rafters, Ballou tells us that he is not hurt and managed to leave his home with just a few scratches on his hands. We'll tell you more about Ballou's experience and his cleanup efforts tonight at 10. Shaley?
Okay, thank you so much, Patricia. Dallas police say the man that drove up to their headquarters last night and began firing at them with an automatic weapon is now dead. Police still don't know the motive for the attack, but say even with the suspect being killed, things could have been much worse.
A dramatic shootout played out on the streets of downtown Dallas, just in front of the Dallas Police headquarters. A heavily armored black van pulled up just around midnight and began opening fire on the police headquarters building.
We believe this suspect meant to kill officers and took time to discharge that weapon multiple times.
Police immediately returned fire, but the bullets did no good because the van was armored. The van continued to ram several police cars before it sped away, with police giving chase. A 12-mile-long chase to the town of Hutchins, where it ended in a restaurant parking lot.
Our SWAT snipers shot at the suspect in Wilma Hutchins through the front windshield of the van, striking the suspect.
Then they used small explosives to make sure that the van wasn't rigged to explode in a greater explosion. Police have identified the suspect as 35-year-old James Boulware, a man with a history of family violence. 3 years ago, he was arrested for briefly choking his mother and his uncle at their home. He lost custody of his children and he blamed police for that. The family simply saying that they knew their son had problems and they're glad that no one else was hurt. I'm Charles Hatlock in Dallas. Now back to you.
Now, although police released the name of the suspect, they are still awaiting a medical examination to determine a positive ID. Well, in Texas news, Governor Greg Abbott signed bills into law that will allow Texans to carry concealed handguns on college campuses and openly carry them virtually everywhere else. The governor signed the open carry bill at a gun range in the city of Pflugerville this afternoon. It will allow Texans to carry handguns in the open if they have a concealed handgun license. The campus carry bill will also allow students at public colleges and universities to carry weapons. Each campus will have the power over where students can carry. The bill passed despite opposition from leaders at some of the state's top universities.
And as governor, I am proud to expand that liberty in the state of Texas. I am proud to expand the rights of gun owners in the state of Texas by signing into law open carry in Texas.
The open carry law may take effect in September, while the campus carry law is expected to go into effect in January. Back here on the South Plains, LISD has called a public hearing and a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. It's scheduled to take place on June 18th at 7 a.m. in the boardroom of the School Administration Building. That's off of 19th Street. They are hearing comments from the public concerning the 2015-2016 budget and proposed tax rate. They're also considering authorizing the sale or demolition of elementary schools and a few other properties. For more information, we have their agenda posted to our website at kcbd.com. Still to come, Hillary Clinton went big today in New York, hosting her first major rally and for the first time publicly outlining her campaign. That's next when KCBD News Channel 11 at 6 continues. Hillary Clinton held her first major presidential campaign event in New York, telling supporters it's time for struggling Americans to move ahead. It was the Democratic presidential candidate's first major campaign speech. Thousands of supporters attended the event held on New York City's Roosevelt Island. She told the large crowd it's time all their hard work paid off, stressing that prosperity and democracy is not just for CEOs and billionaires. Referencing the Beatles, Clinton also likened the GOP presidential contenders to a choir, saying they continue singing the same old song yesterday. Clinton, considered the Democratic frontrunner, also highlighted her career as a crusader for the disenfranchised.
America can't succeed unless you succeed. That is why I am running for President of the United States.
Clinton will now hit the campaign trail again, heading to Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush wrapped up a three-nation European visit today in Estonia. On Monday, Bush plans to announce he's running for president. NBC's Chris Jansing reports from Estonia on the results of the trip and the challenge ahead for Bush, the candidate.
Hello, everybody. Jeb Bush ends his 5 days here in Europe feeling as though he has done the two things that presidential candidates need to do when they make a European swing. One is do no harm. We have seen previous candidates come over to this side of the pond and have gaffes. None of that for him. The second thing is look presidential. Show you can hold your own on the world stage. And he was able to meet with the leaders of all three countries. Now the question is, what happens on Monday when he officially announces that he is a candidate for president?
My job as a candidate is to be the best possible candidate, to persuade people that the ideas I have and the leadership skills I have are the right ones for the future of this country.
The stakes almost couldn't be higher. It's certainly the most important political speech he's ever given, because while he was here, questions have been raised back home about the polls, about his ability to fundraise, and about changes at the top of his campaign. He tells me his speech is written, that he's going to be practicing it over the weekend, but the rest of the weekend, he feels like he really just needs to relax. He needs any controversies to be handled by what he calls really smart people who are on his staff, and he wants to put out a positive message on Monday before heading out into the country with stops that include New Hampshire, Iowa, and South Carolina next week. Traveling with Jeb Bush in Estonia, I'm Chris Jansing, NBC News.
Cutter is tracking storms on the South Plains. He will have your complete first alert forecast coming up next.
Weather coverage you can count on. This is the First Alert Forecast with Cutter Martin.
Good evening. Stormy conditions quickly developing across the South Plains this evening. Just a reminder, severe thunderstorm watch. Basically all counties except for Scurry and Hall under the severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock. So it's a widespread deal right now. It's going to continue to be so through the evening. In fact, I want to take a look at cameras. We're already seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop. This is our Covenant cam on top of Covenant Health in Plainview. We're actually looking off to the west of Plainview. Brand new thunderstorm. This guy just developed within the past 5 minutes. Now, as we take a look from what it looks outside in Lubbock, maybe what it looks like outside your window, we are seeing sunny skies, and you may not make this out on your TV screen at home, but a lot of building clouds off to the north and to the west of Lubbock. So storms developing very close to Lubbock and Plainview now. But as we look at radar, we're tracking two very pronounced areas of storms, one well west of Lubbock and one north and east of Lubbock and east of Plainview. So two areas to watch right now. Number one, northern rolling plains is developed along a boundary that's creeping off to the west, and that boundary is going to interact with the second area that I'm watching, a widespread line of strong to severe thunderstorms that's really organized along the state line. That line is pushing off to the east and will impact Lubbock within the next couple of hours. As far as severe weather, this is the only Texas county in our viewing area that's under a warning, severe thunderstorm warning here in the polygon, that yellow shape you see, until 6:30. So about another 15 or 14 minutes or so, and this storm is only slowly moving off to the east at 10. So South Plains community, about all you guys out here, about the only town that's going to be impacted. And with this storm, 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe hail up to the size of golf balls, as well as with very heavy rain, maybe some localized flooding. And I talked about showers and storms developing locally. There's that one west of Plainview. Lubbock dry right now, but look what's going on off to the west. We're seeing showers and thunderstorms develop over Hockley County, over Cochran County, Yoakum County. That's all ahead of this big line of thunderstorms that is tracking off to the east. So western South Plains, weather already going downhill in your backyard. Lubbock, it will do so here shortly. So tracking this all out from now until the rest of the evening, we're going to see it's going to be moving pretty quickly. So there's some good news there. It's going to hit you hard when it does hit you, but this line of storms here at 6 o'clock, it's going to be moving at a pretty quick clip. Showers and thunderstorms continue to develop in isolated nature out ahead of it. The widespread line may begin to impact Lubbock by 7 o'clock this evening. Gusty winds up to 60-70 miles per hour. Large hail, quarters to golf ball in size. Dangerous lightning and localized flooding, all threats with showers and thunderstorms that occur late this afternoon and this evening. And, you know, I talked about it moving quick. By 10 o'clock news time, it's already on the rolling plains, moving off to the east. Childress, Paducah, Guthrie, Aspermont, Roby, these communities under the gun, weakening a little bit by that point, I think. But the rest of us, hopefully by 10 o'clock this evening into midnight, we're drying out. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up to some clouds, maybe some fog, but most of us are going to be dry. So I want to break down these evening rain chances hour by hour. 50% at 6, 60 at 7 and 8. This is prime time for rain in Lubbock until about 9. Then we will slowly dry out 10 to midnight. And once we lose that rain chance, it looks like it's going to remain low for the rest of the night, at least for the night period. But we are tracking another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe again tomorrow afternoon, possibly Monday afternoon. Shaley, John, and I in the Forecast Center tracking the latest on storms today throughout the evening.
Okay, thanks so much, Cutter. Well, the rain stopped long enough for the Pee Wee fishing tournament at Buffalo Springs Lake. The event included a catch and release tournament, and prizes were awarded to the person who caught not only the biggest fish, but the smallest fish as well. And 100 Black Men of West Texas, a local nonprofit, partnered with the Texas Game Wardens Association to stock a Lubbock lake with more than 1,000 pounds of catfish. The 18th annual Kids Fishing Derby kicked off this morning at May Simmons Park, bringing together hundreds of kids of all ages who enjoyed a nice day outdoors with their families.
I believe that the most significant part of this event, and I believe which lays the foundation for this event, is family. This is an opportunity for families to come out and enjoy themselves. Again, get out the house. You know, a lot of times the kids spend too much time in front of the TV, in front of video games and all those type of things, in front of the computer. This is an opportunity for them to come out and bond on a level that a lot of times they don't get to bond at.
Dial says the pillar of their organization is mentoring, and hosting events like the one today gives them an opportunity to reach out to youth right here on the South Plains. So to come in sports, highlights of all-star action, baseball and softball coming up next in sports with Blake Brody.
This is News Channel 11 Sports with Blake Brody.
Hey, how's it going, West Texas? It's a special night for a select group. The 5th class of the LISD Hall of Honor gets inducted tonight at the Merced Alumni Center. Gary Ashby, Pat Hartsfield, Celestine Hatchett, Kyle, Brad Ralston, and David Thetford. In addition to 3 state championship teams, the ceremony begins at 7 o'clock tonight. Coverage coming your way tonight at 10. Congrats to all those. It's All-Star Day for West Texas baseball and softball. We started LCU for the TAPS 4A East First West game. How about Greenwood's Jessica Avery making a slick catch out there for the East team to keep West from scoring, but it's all for naught as a wild pitch to the very next batter allows Lockney's Dixie Williams to score, and West leads 4-0 with Taylor Hinojos on the mound from Snyder for the West team. That's all she wrote. She had the strikeout pitch working, and the West is the best, taking down the East today 8-4 in the 5A 6A game. North won 10-7. Well, 4A and TAPS All-Star Baseball game. This is the final game for Rodney Gardner after 40 years of coaching. Team 1 leading 3-0 when Estacado's Tony Marquez grounds out. But it scores Snyder's Dylan Hargrove. 4-0 Team 1. Another Matador, Grant Hill on the mound, blowing the high cheese by Fort Stockton's Isaac Acosta there. High five time. Team 1 breaks it open here as Jacob McDougal from Trinity Christian unloads to left, over the head, and to the wall. It scores 2 more. Team 1 takes a 7-1 lead, and they win it 7-3. Well, it's never happened before in NCAA track and field history to have 2 members of the same team finish 1 and 2 at the high jump at both the NCAA indoor and outdoor championships. But Texas Tech's Jacorian Duffield and Bradley Atkins did just that yesterday. Duffield took the title, becoming the first male Texas Tech athlete to claim both an indoor and outdoor national title. His partner, meanwhile, Atkins, finished second in both the indoor and outdoor. So these two became the first duo to pull it off, a 1 and 2 in NCAA history. An amazing feat for these two, and I mean, talk about a great accomplishment for Texas Tech track and field. To the ball diamond, the Rangers looking to claim its series over the Twins today. Colby Lewis on the mound had plenty to work with today. Texas trailing 3-2, but Mitch Moreland, does it have the distance? No, but it does find the wall. That's good, too. Shin-Soo Choo scores to tie the game at 3. Moreland not done. Next inning, this one does, in fact, have the distance. Way out of town to right field. A 3-run homer, and the Rangers take an 8-3 lead. The 8th homer for Moreland this season. And then there's this guy, Joey Gallo, 471 feet to left center field and out of here. The longest home run at Globe Life Park since 2011. The Rangers in control right now, leading 11-3. This game currently in a rain delay in the 7th, but the Rangers well on their way to claiming this series over the Twins. That's your look at sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Strong to severe thunderstorms developing across the South Plains. One severe thunderstorm, Floyd County, South Plains, that is moving in your direction. We're watching this line of storms along the state line heading our way. It's moving east 40 to 50, so it will be impacting Lubbock in the next hour or 2. Just a reminder, severe thunderstorm watch in green in effect, Shaley, tonight until 10 o'clock.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Cutter. Again, he'll be tracking those storms and we'll bring you the very latest tonight at 10. Have a great evening.